Today I'm going to be installing the under cabinet lighting by Light Kiwi. This is the standard 4-panel kit in cool white. It's a 6000K, and they're the 12-inch LED fixtures. So I already opened this, but just to show you what it comes with, you get some, I'll just take it all out real quick. So these are the under cabinet lights. You can see here. So it tells you it's 6000K. It's really simple. There's a little plug here and a plug here if you want to join them together. If you do, you get these little adapters with it. So all you do is you take it, stick it on one side, click it in, take your next light, stick it in, and that'll join both if you want to go under, double cabinets like I'm going to be doing. I want to do something a little different than this because I want it spaced out a little more. So you get these little adapters with it, but you get the 4 lights, obviously, which are here. You get a few pieces of wiring, which honestly aren't that long. I think these are about 4 feet each, and it's basically one of these per light. So you get 4 pieces of these, and I'll show you the other stuff in a second. So this is the mounting hardware. I'll open this up. So basically you take these little clamps, you're gonna put them, if this is the front of your cabinet, obviously you want this piece towards the front of the cabinet and this side towards the back. This way you can clip the light in, because obviously you want the light to be parallel with the cabinet. So here's the adapters. Here's a little bag of screws, which I'll show you in here again. If you don't want to screw into the cabinet, they give you 3M double-sided tape, but if you're investing this money in these under cabinet lights, it's a really small screw. So you get 4 sets of these, obviously, again, 1 for every light. 3, 4, they all have the same exact things in them. So like I was saying, you get these little adapters. You can use these, but like I said, I want them spaced out a little more. So I went onto Amazon and bought 4-inch extensions, and it's exactly the same thing as this, except it gives you a little more space. So I'm just gonna pop you off the tripod real quick, and I'll show you what my setup is. So here's one side of the cabinets. So I'm gonna have a light under here, a light under here, a light under here, 2 lights under here, and then 2 lights under here. So the other way that I'm doing this is I'm setting this up so it's not gonna be on a timer. It's gonna be done basically automatically. So you obviously need access to a plug. So I have one here, I have one here, 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 and under there, which is being used by my wife's coffee maker area. So over here, what I did, I have this switch plugged in. This is by Wemo or Belkin. So this is gonna run off, I can do it off Wi-Fi, obviously that's how it works. But you can set it up on a timer. You can set it up to work by sunset and sunrise. You can set it up by motion if it's connected to a ring system, which I have over there. So a few different ways, but basically the power source is plugged in here, and then I have it wired into my cabinet, which I'm gonna have a, this cable hidden. And in here, I have the wire going all the way up to this area here. So what I have in here, which is what you also get with the kit, which I'll pull out, you get a dimmer switch with the kit that wires in line. Here is your power source, which that is going to plug into here. I'll show you how I'm going to do all this. So that's going to plug into here. It's connected to the dimmer switch. And then you also get this modular piece here. So power goes in, and then you have 4 plugs, so you can wire in 4 lights. So remember, it's just because there's 4 plugs here, you can wire in more than 4 lights, obviously, like I'm gonna do. So like I said, my power source goes all the way up, and then it comes out on the top of the cabinet, which is where all the wiring is gonna go. So looking back, so my power source is over here. It's gonna come up. I'm gonna have 1 wire coming down here, 1 wire going across coming down here, 1 wire here, and then I have to do 1 wire coming down across the window trim and then down to here. So you're probably thinking, how am I going to do that with those? Putting you back on the tripod, hold on. How am I going to do that with that short of wiring? So what I did, I measured. That was dumb. I should have. I measured, since my power source is here and my 4-port plug is going to be up there. I measured here down, which was a 6-foot cable. It was really only 4 feet, but it's better to have extra. I did another, I think I did a 12-foot over here. I did a 6-foot coming down here. So I just measured, going across and down on the cabinet. And then from there across to here and down, I got a 15-foot cable. So the kit, without those extra cables, costs about $56 on Amazon, which is very reasonable. So this entire kit was $56. These were $1.99, so not breaking the bank with that. And then this is just an extra kit. This is the 6-foot cable. This is another 6-foot cable. This is the 12-foot cable. And then this is the 15-foot cable. So if you go on Light Kiwi's website, they sell all these cables, on their own. So you don't, it's not a, you can measure it and make your own kit basically. The 15-foot cable, this is an in-wall rated cable. It's the only way it comes, which is fine. I mean, it cost $12, so it's not a big deal. But like I said, all these cables, $30, not a big deal. So all in all, what is it, $90 for this under cabinet lighting. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do it. I have another set that I had in my old house, which was just more lights. This way I can wire them in line. But this is just how the kit comes. Again, it's by Light Kiwi. It's the cool white standard 12-inch kit, 4 panels. And let's get to it. We'll show you how to do this. Okay, so I'm on top of the cabinet. Like I said before, there's that 1 hole here. And it just goes to the power source and then to the dimmer again, which is an on-off switch, but it's staying up here, so it's a dimmer. Then it goes to the power port, or the, the splitter, whatever you want to call it. So I have 1 wire here, 1 wire over there, and 1 wire here. So to get the wiring, obviously, to the bottom, you are going to have to drill a hole in your cabinets. Luckily, it's only 2 holes per cabinet because this cabling is so thin you can slide it. You can slide it in between this little crevice right here. It'll stay in there fine. You just have to push this over and it'll go in there. So you want to find the corner of your cabinet. You're going to need a 3/8 bit and obviously a drill, and drill 1 hole. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so we're just going to find an area. Obviously you don't want to go here because that's the wall of the cabinet, so you want to go relatively close. You don't want to go all the way back either because that's the back of the cabinet. So find an area, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to go in an area where nobody's really gonna take notice. So I'm actually gonna go in the opposite corner over here because the cabinet opens this way. So you'll notice this area before you will this area. So we'll go right about here. Oops. Okay. Just take a look. And you can see I was too close to the wall, but that's okay. Nobody's gonna see that because we're so high up. So then, put you down for a second. Okay. Take your wire, push it through the hole. There it is. So now you can take the other end of the wire, open this loom up a little bit. You don't have to worry about the wires right now. It's, you could do all the cable management later. So take it, gonna run it over to drill out of the way. Plug it into one of the ports on the splitter. So now you can take this. I'll just show you, comes all the way down, and you'll have more space. Right now that's where it is because it's coming forward. So let me get all these glasses out of the way, put the wire in, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, so I have the wire coming down. So instead of going on the side of these, you can easily just pull this out, slide out a little bit, and fish it behind the cabinet, and then just push the shelf back. So that's what I did here. I mean, you're gonna see this, but once you have stuff in here, like that, it clearly hides it, so it's not a big deal. So I have it coming down again. I pulled the shelf out. Yes, I have to clean all that up. Coming down again, and then here, like I said, just pull the shelf out a little bit, and you can get back there. Let me just move these out of the way to show you again. So you come under, there's your wire, pull it down. Now look at all that slack you have. So you're gonna have to drill another hole from the bottom up in this corner, and then you'll be able to wire this in. So we'll go ahead and do that. Just get this stuff out of the way here. So if you're gonna do this to, surprise your wife or to, whatever, for you, you do have to make 2 holes in cabinets. So if you're gonna do this, don't tell her you're making the holes. And then tell her after the fact. So again, we're gonna go to the back corner, back here, come out a little bit, and make your hole. So I'll do that and I'll come back in a second. Okay, there's my hole in the back. You can see right in the corner. I'm gonna put the cable through. There you go. Can pretty much touch the bottom of the counter with how much slack I have. And all that can be adjusted later on. So then we're gonna take it, put the light right there. So we're gonna do this for every cabinet. And it'll be pretty much a simple install. So you'll see, like I said, you'll see the cable there now. I don't have gaps in between, so some cabinets have a little gap right here. That's what my other house had, and I just ran the wires through that so you couldn't see anything. But that doesn't look bad because once I put the glass in, you know, just to show you. There. So you can see a little bit right there, but it is what it is. You can get these in black. You can get black cables or white cables. I just chose black because that's what I got. So now we'll go over to this side and we'll do this wire coming down here, and then I'll come back to you and show you what I did. Okay, so all the work, well, all the wiring is done now. So on this side, I'll start over here. I originally, like I said, was going to drill a hole over here and come down, but I saw that I had a gap here, so I just ran the wire from the top down, didn't have to drill a hole anywhere. So in here, there's no hole. Well, there's a hole up on top because I was going to do it, and then that's when I saw the gap. So I don't have to wire anything down there. Over here, we have the one hole coming down, and once everything is in, the wire is pretty hidden, so not a big deal. For under this cabinet, I utilize the same hole for the power cord, so I'm just going to wire tie that together to make it look a little neater. I know I could have put this like in that corner, but I didn't want to have to go from here up, across, and up, so I just kind of went straight up. But it is what it is. Stuff's going to get put in there eventually. We just moved in, so it's not a big deal. As cabinet goes, I was going to run another wire down here, but what I'm going to do is when I plug this one in here, I'm going to daisy chain, like I was saying before that I had another plan. I'm going to put one light here, daisy chain them connected here, and then do one light and one light here. And then as far as the far cabinet, I have the wire going up, and then it comes down, which I'll show you in a second, comes out here, and then all of this is going to get stapled above the trim, so you won't be able to see it because, you know, it's going to kind of look like that, so you won't see it at all. It comes across, goes in over here, so you'll just see this little spot right there where it goes in, and that comes all the way down, which again you can't see it up until here, which my wife's mug collection will cover that all up. And then here's that cable. So let me show you up top what I have going on. All right, so now you can see the cable comes out there, goes in here, comes up. Here's that cable. So I'll plug that in to the splitter. If I can do it one-handed. Okay. So now all of them are in. And this whole mess, like these cables up here, you can do something with them if you want. I don't care because nobody is 12 feet tall to see any of this. So got the dimmer switch here. The power source is plugged in. That's on. And this hole goes down there. And then that goes to the gap on the side. So pretty much the hard part is over of the wiring. Now comes the fun part of figuring out where to mount your lights and how to mount them. So like I said, you have these here. Before I do any of this, I'm gonna get one light set up, like I said, in the middle here. This way I can set up the daisy chain to go across to over here. So I'll back up to give you guys a better look. So before I start mounting everything, I thought I'd give you an idea of what I was talking about. So I'll have one light here. This light is on right now. I have them set to the max. I mean, you can't tell it's daylight, so one light here. That's the under cabinet light with the daisy chain going across with the connector to two lights going under that cabinet. I may get rid of that and do another daisy chain to do one light here, one light here. And there's the other light. And all of these are controlled by this switch here. And like I said, that's gonna be on a sunrise, sunset timer. So I'll just show you what I'm talking about. You can turn them off by pressing this button up here. So press it and the lights go off. Turn it on, lights go on. So now you know why I put the dimmer and on-off switch up there, because I don't need it. I have this. I'm gonna wait until it's nighttime and then I'll set how dim I want the lights. But this is kind of the setup I'm going with so far. So all the wiring is done now, so I wanted to give you a finished product look, I guess you can say. Initially I was gonna go with staples, which I did do up here, which you can kind of see. There's a few there. I didn't have my staple gun with me at the time, so I just threw a bunch in there for right now. But under the cabinets, let's go over here. You can see I went with a nail and wire holder, which I'll get that information in a second. So everything is wired. Like I said, it's all hooked up. There's this one, and they're on Velcro for right now because I'm waiting for new brackets from Light Kiwi to come in. Here's this one here. And that one. And then over here, I had to actually make my own wire harness right there because this piece here was way too long. So I just, snipped it in the middle and made it to the dimension I needed to. And I did get rid of that little bracket and I did extend it over, made another homemade cable here. And you can see the nails. I just did this loop because, I had extra wiring and I didn't measure it right, to be honest. But this one came out good and it's all connected again to the Wemo. That's the Wemo Insight, but you can use a Wemo switch or whatever you want. So I'm just going to show you the Wemo app, how I have it set up. So when you open it up, right now I just have the cabinets in there, and like I said, this is the Insight switch. So this will tell you, how much electricity you're using over a certain period of time. So when you drop it down, this was just today. So an estimated monthly usage of all of those lights is only 2 cents. So it's not bad. And, you could turn it on here. Just turn it on and it tells you, now it's on. And that's really it. So when you go under rules, this is what I have it set to. The cabinets, they turn on at sunrise, at sunset, and they turn off at 2:30. And everything works. I'll post a finished picture in a second. And I actually wired it up to Alexa as well, so I can just go, Alexa, turn on the cabinet lights. And there you go. So if you're standing here, you're able to see the lights. So I'm getting, I think it's called a chair rail. I forgot what it's called, but they sell it at Home Depot. and it's like an inch or half an inch piece of wood that comes down, and you just nail it into the bottom of the cabinet. And it comes in all different colors, or you can just get it in regular wood and stain it to, you know, match. So here's this one. I think this one has to come back a little more because you can see the line, and I kind of don't like that. This one is the same way. You can see a little bit of line, so I gotta pull that forward a little more. Alexa, turn the cabinet lights off.
Did you mean cabinets?
Yes. So that's it. So everything is wired up. It's done. I'm happy with it. You know, for $110 roughly, with the little nails to hold the wiring in, you know, you can't beat it. And it's on Amazon. I'll post a link where to get it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. Be sure to share, comment, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I have a lot of other projects, including this one coming up next. This slide out garbage instead of just a door. So that's coming up next. So thanks for watching, and talk to you soon.